I don't know how to make introductory music work on this thing because it appears to be not playing, and that's fine. I don't know how to make this thing work because, listen, we don't know how to do anything right around here. It's Sunday Night Suns on a Saturday night. You know, last time I accidentally called it Saturday Night Suns. That's not even the name of the show. So, you know, we're still getting things figured out around here. It's a little bit rough. We're trying to add one new thing each week. This thing this week failed, but what are you gonna do, my man Keith Strader? How you doing this Saturday night in place of a Sunday night?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Thank you. You know, we lost, so could be better, but
Could be better. I mean, that's the thing, is that we're always in a situation where my webcam keeps almost falling over. I love it. Again, we were figuring things out. You can see Keith in both frames. Like, we're doing things really good around here. This is classic shit. Honest to God, I'd be doing better if we won. I don't think that there's any question about that. I mean, this was kind of a bummer situation all around. Yeah. Where do you want to start? Like, where do we begin with the catastrophe week it was? Because here's the thing: is we started this show as I closed the door full of trash behind me. We started the show on like kind of a high point, right? Like the first episode was like things were going good, we're rocking, everything's going well.
Yeah.
No, not so much. What are you feeling good about? Let me ask you that. Like right now, we just lost. We're 1-3 this week.
Yeah.
So what are you feeling good about still with this team?
I'm feeling good about our cup. You know, our cup chances. I like that we're moving on there. You know, and I think we have a chance when we go against the Thunder again, because we were in that game. I'm actually feeling okay about the team overall right now, mainly because of how we played against the Thunder and how it really came down to the last 4 seconds. Like, if we get that turnover, we could tie the game, maybe win it if we dish it out to Royce or something. He was going crazy in the fourth. It was insane, which I think we should get to Royce more often, but that's for later. But I don't know. I really don't. Tonight's loss sucked, but I don't really feel too bad about it. We didn't have Williams, and I think we are a completely different team when we don't have him. So it's a back-to-back. Allen's just coming back off of an injury, so I don't know. I like the win against. I like the win against the Kings, but I like our how we played against the Thunder and how we actually show that we might, if we went to a series with them, could steal a few games and maybe win or something.
Well, and that's the thing, is I was talking to my nephew Dexter, which of course is a great known NBA source, and the funny thing was, I mentioned what you and I had talked about, that that we actually match up fairly decently with the Thunder, and he agreed and started going into why, and one of the main reasons that he mentioned was Mark Williams. And I do think that, I mean, again, it's like there's no moral victories, right? You can't sit here and go, oh, we lost the game, it was wonderful. And I understand all of those things. All of that is true. But the Thunder are 18-1. Like, we came a jump shot away from beating them. You're not going to tell me that doesn't make you feel good. It should. Because, again, it sucks to lose, and losing feels bad. But, like, the no moral victories thing, like, that's true, but it's also, like, I think that people are forgetting where the Suns were a few years ago when you're talking about a team that was, like, quite literally, like, games were over at halftime. You're down by 30 points before you even know what the fuck is going on. Like, games were just over immediately. And so the Thunder won 68 games last year, and they didn't cruise through the playoffs. They had a couple of 7-game series, and they could have lost to the Nuggets. They could have lost to the Pacers. They have not yet proven themselves as a dynasty, despite the fact that they've proven themselves as a champion. So but despite all those things, the fact that we can hang with them, it's hard to not, like, look at that and go, okay, Yeah,
because when you see the Thunder play, they play really well. I'm like, God dang, these guys are good. And then we hung with them. So I'm like, am I just, like, over analyzing our mistakes because I'm a fan? do we actually like from an outsider's view? What did the Suns look like in that game? Do they look sloppy or do they look pretty confident? To get to that point in the game. So
and also the fact that they were healthier than us. They just got J Dub back. We didn't have Grayson Allen. Guys got hurt during the game. Like the fact that they were healthier than us and we still stayed with them, like those things have to mean something. They really do. And so I do think that there's a certain semblance of like, again, the whole this team is scrappy, this team fights, all of that stuff. That does matter. It doesn't, again, it's what does it ultimately matter for? I don't know. But the Mark Williams thing, like, we got kind of lambasted for that one because, you traded 2 first-round picks for center and then you drafted a center with the first-round pick. Like, I understand all of those things in terms of, like, questioning the process. But, like, let's look at the results right now. Like, Williams is really good. And, maybe you would say, oh, you could have drafted someone other than Malawach. All right, maybe. But ultimately, like, things are going really well. Like, it's hard to... I'm still extremely happy with the Suns' season overall, right? Like, don't you feel like I'm not down right now?
I'm not down, no. I think we're still way ahead of expectations. And, I think we could maybe trade Malawach. Or I think we're looking to maybe trade someone out of that position because we're not. Are we going to play Iguodala? Are we going to play Richards?
We do have 4 centers.
Yeah,
right now. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true that we're not going to carry 4 centers for. I mean, Iguodala is not necessarily. He's a small ball center, all those things. But it's true that we're. I mean, we gave up 2 first-round picks for Williams. I have to assume we're going to sign him to a contract. That would be crazy to just let him go. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wonder about maybe Richards being the odd man out. But Richards has been good. Like, and I don't know if we've seen enough from Malawach. So, yeah, I mean, I think he still has value. I wouldn't be shocked, but I also think that, like, everything is so fluid. I think that we opened the season thinking, hey, let's see if we could rehab Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green and trade them. And instead, like, we're winning games. And I know that, things aren't perfect, but, like, let's also consider the Suns have already had 3 back-to-backs, okay? And they're in a brutal stretch of schedule. Like, everybody's like, oh, the Suns are only beating bad teams. Well, you're supposed to beat bad teams. Good teams beat bad teams. That's what you're supposed to do. And, yes, it's like we lost to Thunder and the Nuggets. That's hard. But we also played those games on back-to-back nights. It's going to be very difficult to win those games. To win either one of them is already difficult. You got to play the 2 best teams in the NBA on back-to-back nights. I mean, it's tough. And we played one of them damn near to a draw. Like, again, you look at a week that's 1-3. You lost to the Rockets without KD. That hurts. You beat the Kings. That's good. Then you lose to the Thunder and the Nuggets. You say, but if you dig into it a little bit more, like, again, like you said, like, we're way ahead of schedule. Like, nobody was expecting anything. But I will say, I want to make the playoffs. And so what I hope this team can do is learn from this, because you're in one of the most difficult stretches of the season, which means easier stretches will come. You're playing the Thunder, you're playing the Nuggets, you're playing the Wolves multiple times. Like, this stretch is difficult, but that means that those games aren't later. We play the Lakers next. Like, you're taking those games out, and there's going to come a long stretch of East games and a long stretch of games against worse teams. So you're going to have the ability to win. And I know that, fattening up on shitty teams, blah, blah, whatever, but you got to do what you got to do to make the playoffs and earn those cracks at the other teams, right? Like, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm just like, let's win the games we can win.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I would love to make the playoffs. We beat the Spurs twice. They're a good team. We beat the Timberwolves,
Yep.
They're not, when Anthony Edwards was going off.
Yeah, he scored 40 plus.
It is interesting. Like, if we keep on this path and we stay like in the 6 or 5 spot, and then we get Jalen Green back, and he looks great. What if he? Okay, our only game that we got from him was amazing. What if that is what we get from him?
Yeah.
So then we do think about making a trade. Like, I don't know, because then you're like, maybe we could actually go on a run here. So I don't know. it'll be interesting to see in that regard. With having I did see that Nick Richards, we did put him up like for availability to be traded like since last summer or something.
I mean, I just think the biggest thing is, I think that you can look at this situation like you've got this team, and you can look at Jalen Green like your midseason trade acquisition because, like you said, you don't know what you have with him. You have this one game that went so well. He scored 29 or whatever it was. Shot the ball well. Couple of crazy passes, whatever. A very good Jalen Green game, and we won. And so, I do think that there's logic to the, let's just keep this team together because you're adding Jalen Green thing. Because I also think that depth is so important. But there is something also too. It's like if you got a real point guard on this team and stopped making Devin Booker do everything, and then Colin Gillespie is more of a sixth man and not having to carry too much of the load. Like there's a real truth to that. But I also think like the number of point guards that make sense in that scenario, it's like you're not gonna go back. There's no Chris Paul edition waiting, right? Like we did before. Like there's no guy that's sitting there that's available that changes the game in such a way. And so I do think that like you're like, all right, if we can just we're gonna add a 24-year-old dude who can score 20 a game. And again, I've said this many times. I don't think I said this in the last episode, so I'll say it here. Everybody is hating on Jalen Green throughout his career, saying he's inefficient, all these things. The Suns aren't going to be able to do anything, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that is true. I just want to say, like, the one thing about it is that he has been asked since he came into the league to carry the primary scoring load for an NBA team, which is very difficult for any 19, 20-year-old to do. And I know that he hasn't evolved in the way that we would want. But at no point has Jalen Green ever been the second scoring option. And I think that the one thing that the Suns can provide him is the ability to play off Devin Booker. And if you're not being doubled and you're not the number one dude and you're still out there able to take as many shots as you want against secondary defenders, I just think his efficiency is going to increase.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if he's going to be way more consistent than our bench, I mean, even I love Grayson Allen, but I just feel like even he'll be more consistent than him, and we'll actually be able to pull defender off of Booker, which will do great things for us because right now the double team is just killing him right now. We have no consistent scorer,
Especially because Grayson is as good as he is. He's not creating his own shot. He's coming off other people to create a shot. And so we don't have, and again, as good as Gillespie is, he'll create his shot against secondary units. Against first-line defenders, it starts to get a little more dicey.
Yeah. And he's been really great. He's been a huge,
We're big-time Gillespie people around here.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. So, and I'm glad to see he started a couple times this week. I guess we didn't win either of them. But did he start this last game today? I didn't see.
I didn't. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I know that Goodwin started the other night. Goodwin, man. I mean,
yeah.
Because we've seen Goodwin before, so we know what he brings. But I think the biggest thing is that he really couldn't shoot before. Like, he really wasn't hitting shots his first time around with the Suns. And this time, I mean, he's not like an elite shooter or anything, but it's like you add a halfway decent three-point shot to a guard who grabs 4 offensive rebounds. It's like, like Goodwin is special. He's awesome. And, I mean,
I'm so happy he didn't get injured.
Yeah. That rolled ankle looked like a thing for a minute. But it's just like the Suns have a lot of dudes who just play hard. But I do understand what you're saying too, because it's like this team is better than expected. And you don't want to make a dumb trade, right? You don't want to do anything stupid. But it's like there are certain things that, like the Ja Morant for Jalen Green thing that people floated. I don't want to do that. But I understand why people floated it because, again, the Suns really, really could use a point guard. We've seen what they have when you put an elite point guard next to Booker, right? We've seen how far that can go. So I understand the thought process, and I do think that if I was looking to acquire a player for the Suns, the position I would be looking at is point guard. And so that's where the Jalen Green thing, that's a contract that you can theoretically trade. But I also just think, yeah, man, he's 23. Like, there's a world where this thing can work, and I would just love to see it for 20 games before I just completely abandon it.
Yeah, me too. And Dylan Brooks has been a huge surprise. Like, as far as just from a defensive end, I knew he was a defensive player. I didn't know he could score. Like, he had a mid-range jumper like he does.
He's never shot from the mid-range like this. Like, this is Dylan Brooks' offensive best season without question. I mean, he's putting up numbers. Again tonight he scored 27 on 18. Mm-hmm. He might have had a couple of shots left. There was 2 minutes left when I saw that stat. But the point is, Brooks has been awesome. He's been way more efficient than normal. He's still bringing his incredible defensive intensity. I mean, tonight it didn't work. We can talk about these games individually, but yeah. I love what I have seen from Dylan Brooks. Like, that addition, I thought of that as just like a salary match throw in the KD trade. But I got to be honest, I want Dylan Brooks to stay on the Suns. I don't want him going anywhere. I think he's a great fit next to Devin Booker.
I agree.
He fits his timeline. I think that you've got your two guard and your small forward. So now you got to figure out your point guard, your power forward, and your center. I think that Ryan Dunn could be the power forward. I think that Williams could be the center. And I really think that the answer needs to be point guard. That's where I keep coming back to. Again, I know that it's not possible, but I look at the Chris Paul edition and what that did, and what it took from Devin Booker in terms of necessity of workload and what it allowed him to do as a scorer. Also Chris Paul being the point guard.
Dude.
But I do think that I want Brooks playing small forward for Phoenix for the next 6 years with Devin Booker. I want those two guys for the next 6 years. So we've got those two. So let's figure out what else is going on. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I just can't wait for Jalen Green to get healthy. I don't want him to rush back. Obviously, I want him to honestly stay out as long as it takes. So whatever that means, I just hope it's sooner rather than later. Obviously, yeah. We're all dying for him to get back. Do you want to talk about the games individually, the Rockets game?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's.
So no KD. Yeah. Obviously, people.
That was a bummer. The fact that there was no KD and we still couldn't even handle that was truly a disappointment. I mean,
it was.
Şengün just worked us. I mean,
yeah,
he's so good.
Dude, he was nailing threes.
Did everything.
Yeah.
Their offensive rebounding is through the roof. Amen Thompson is amazing. I mean, they're just an incredible team, and KD fits perfectly. And this is the thing that we were talking about last time. It's KD may not necessarily be the floor raiser that a LeBron is that can win 60 games with scrubs sort of thing. But my God, does he make a team go nuclear? And they didn't even have him. And they still were just, we couldn't stop them. And, there's still a lot to be, there's still a lot in terms of defense that the Suns need to work on. Playing hard doesn't always work out when you're playing against a team that knows what they're doing, has a lot of chemistry, has a very well constructed offense. That's what's going on with the Rockets right now. So
yeah, dude, they were a very physical team.
Yes.
They really beat us up. I feel like I don't want to complain about calls because I feel like we would just talk about that every game, every cast. Because I just feel like I would just say in this episode, so I don't ever have to say it again. Phoenix just will not get calls, even in home games. Teams like the Rockets will come in who are in the top 4 and they'll get the home calls even though they're on the road.
We have the worst home whistle in the NBA. I agree with that.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't win games, and we have one of the best home records in the West right now, top 4, maybe top 3. But not this game. We couldn't get it done. The 3 ball wasn't there. Did you talk about Amen Thompson?
Yeah, Thompson.
Yeah, dude, he just killed us.
He was
able to get by us.
Yeah. He's just so good because he gets to the rim.
Yeah.
He explodes to the rim. He grabs rebounds. He's not he's not even that great of a shooter yet. And when he is, both the Thompson brothers, both Asar Thompson and Amen Thompson, they're both so good. Like, it's just, but the thing about Amen Thompson, I feel, is that, like, he really, the Fred VanVleet injury has allowed him to really run that offense.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, like, he just blew by us to the rim.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. It's a game I want back, you know. Now that we have Allen, we'll maybe be able to spread the floor a little bit more and get, you know, so Booker doesn't have to get doubled. You know, he's been on a slump a little bit lately, and I think he's, like you say, maybe he has a hurt wrist. I think could just be tired. You know, we played 5 games, you know, this week.
I mean, and he's carrying such an unbelievable load offensively. You know, he's getting doubled every single time. He's got to deal with that. I mean, it is conceivable as exhaustion. His shooting is I mean, just the number of misses is strange. It's just uncharacteristic for him to shoot at this percentage. It makes me wonder if, like, you know, he's got a wrist injury or something. But, you know, again, I mean, exhaustion is very possible. You know, we'll see. Hopefully those things get picked up. But, yeah, I mean, the Rockets game was just, you know, I mean, that was just a flat disappointment. You know, we're coming off a great win. We're on a high. There's no KD. Yeah. That really felt like a situation where we could earn a big win.
Yeah, I agree.
And we just, you know, again, we haven't been great against teams with huge centers for a while now, and the sort of double center lineup of Steven Adams and Alperen Şengün.
Yeah, Adams was flopping all over the place.
Yeah, and he just, you know, he grabs every single offensive rebound in sight. He draws a million. That was a frustrating one to watch.
Yeah, it was.
And then, you know, the next game.
Yeah, I would say we did get to see Okogie, you know, which.
Yeah.
If you know, since we're Suns podcast.
Yeah, we love Okogie. I mean, I always think about that Mavericks series where he went 0 of 8 from 3. And he just could have made a couple of corner threes. Yeah. Things might be really different today, but
yeah. He was scrappy as ever. You know.
Scrappy as always. But, you know, the thing is that Jordan Goodwin is a much better version.
Mm-hmm. He can hit baskets, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing. And so is, you know, Jamari Bouye.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
This dude, like, I don't know where the hell this guy came from, but he's balling a little bit.
He's been on roster the whole season, right?
Yeah, I think he's been up and down a little bit, but hurt, but like I don't like know him. Like I'm not like, oh, I remember watching this dude in college. I don't know him, and he's just like absolutely killing it.
He's fearless, dude. Yeah.
Oh my god, some of those step backs are like, all right,
yeah.
You know, all right.
Reminds me of Kelly Oubre a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like go to the rim on anyone.
No fear. Yeah. You know, I miss Kelly for that reason.
Yeah, me too.
The Kings game much better though. You know, the Kings game that's a game where we handle business, and you want to be able to do that against the Kings, right? That's That's not one of those things. But also, given that it's a cup game, like, you know, I mean, the NBA Cup games do have an extra level of intensity. Those guys want the money.
Yeah.
And they bring it. And so it doesn't really matter who you're playing. You're going to get their best shot that night, no matter who you are. And I'm proud of, you know, the fact that, you know, we were 3-0 to that point, and, you know, we didn't. That's one of those games you can kind of slack off and lose because you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
We haven't done that against bad teams this season. We're not playing down to our competition. I like that.
Me too. We beat them. Wound up beating them by 12. I want to say.
Yeah.
That was a good game. You know, we were hitting it from the 3. You know, obviously it seems like Ott says if you're open from 3, shoot it.
Yep. And this is yet another game where Booker didn't play well.
Yeah.
And so to still get that win, you know, when Book is. Because that's a prime scenario for, you know, DeMar to do some DeMar shit and we lose the game.
Yeah.
Because Book's not, you know, playing up to his standards. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I don't know what it was. Budenholzer couldn't get these guys to shoot threes. Vogel couldn't get these guys to shoot threes. I mean, to be fair, it's a completely different roster almost. But Jordan Ott has everyone shooting threes all the time. I mean, Royce O'Neal, dude, if Royce O'Neal can see the basket, he is shooting the ball. Like, yeah. And I support it. He's killing it. You know, his shooting is awesome. So it's like, hey, fire that shit off. You know, like.
Yeah, he's what, the top 3 in the league? They said.
Yeah, he's been balling. Him and Grayson are an absolutely deadly duo. And It's funny that we offered both of them for Kuminga to the Warriors, and they said no. And I think right now, if you asked people in the league, I think that people would take Grayson Allen of those three.
Mm-hmm. Dude, after that 10 3-point
game. Oh my God, yeah. Being there was so cool, man.
Dude.
He was just like, every time he touched the ball, you were just like, oh, it's going in. He missed like 4 shots. Like, it was just like, we were like, the minute he had the ball, I'm like, oh, it's going in. And he just, one of the times he missed it, he immediately got it back off a rebound and bagged it. It was just like, you and I told you this, he had 18 at halftime, and I bet on him to get 30, and he ended up with 42. I bet on him at halftime because I was just like, this dude's not missing. And he hit 4 threes in the third quarter. Like, it was just not. He was exhausted by the end. Like by the time he had 42 points, I think it was like 8 minutes left. He came out of the game. He was like worn the fuck out. You could see it because by the time that he got to like 7 threes, the Suns were aware that he's like closing in on this record, and so every single time down the court, he's running through 4 picks. And it's, if you go watch the game, Jordan Knott was like, just let Grayson shoot, and he fucking made everything. It was unbelievable. But by the 8-minute point, he looked just like burned out. He was like, oh my God. So
that's nice.
He was, but it works, right? And dude. I Jordan Knott, he's not afraid to ride the high hand.
No, he's great at that.
Yeah.
Which is maybe Royce is cold or cooling off right now. I'm just wondering, with how well he has been from 3 in the last 3 games, he really hasn't been a focus in our offense. And he's the one that actually got us back into that Thunder game. So I'm just wondering why we don't get the ball to him a little bit more from 3, or maybe I don't know, maybe he's a little tired right now.
Well, I feel like with what's been going on with Dunn, he's had to pick up a larger defensive load.
Okay.
And so I do think that it's been a little bit more difficult for him to shoot as much because I do feel like he's been working harder, playing up on the defensive end and defending more power forwards.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so I do think that there's some of that. Also, I mean, he was shooting like 64% in the first 4 or 5 games, so there's always going to be, some natural like come back to earth a little bit. But I do think that it's true. He's been shooting less, and I do think a lot of that has to do with
he's been touching the ball less.
Yes, and I do think it's because he's picking up a larger defensive load, and so to compensate for that, he's setting more screens on offense and kind of just popping out. And also, he has been seeing better defenders, not top tier defenders, but they have been like in the past. Royce was a dude that when you're closing out, Royce was a guy you would close out off of. And they're not closing out off of him anymore because they know he's a deadly shooter. Now, It also depends, I think, on the lineups. Because when Grayson's on the floor, Royce absolutely kills it because Grayson gets so much of the attention and Royce is seeing the tertiary defenders. And I do think that Grayson's been out.
That's a good point.
Royce is seeing better defenders.
The person that's on Allen's now on Royce now.
Exactly. Yeah. And Dunn has been hurt, so he's doing more on defense. So it's just one of those things. It's like guys get hurt. It's the trickle down effect. It's the next man up thing. And I do think that has a lot to do with it. And then, like you said, though, you see Grayson comes back. Royce gets a lot of good looks. I do think I think that has a lot to do with it, though. It's just like personnel-wise, Royce has had to do a lot of different things the last 2 games. But, man, he's been so good this year. Like, see, Royce is someone who I really wouldn't be shocked if we traded. And it's not because he's awesome. I love him. But he's playing like some of the best ball of his career, and he's 32 years old. And so, like, he might have more value right now to a contender. Like someone who needs, and he's got 3 years left on his deal, so it's like some teams might view that as bad money, but like because he's playing so well, other teams are like, oh, this is basically a free agency pickup ahead of time, Right. And there are teams that are contenders that might look at that deal and say, maybe this is not perfect on the back end, but if it helps me win a title this year, that's worth a couple of picks. Maybe they're second round picks. Obviously not. He's not going to get 2 first round picks. But the point is, like, I love Royce O'Neal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for trading him. I will be completely honest with you. Unless the wheels fall off,
right?
Keep this team together. I think that we should just ride this season out, see what the Jalen Green thing is, and then reapproach this whole thing in the offseason because the Bradley Beal thing becomes a little bit less. I think it might be the Nas Little contract comes off the books this year. Like there's one of our stretches I think comes off. The Beal contract goes down. Like we gain like $5 million. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're able to give that to Gillespie. Maybe we make a trade and the Jalen Green thing doesn't quite work out. Who knows? You know, there's a lot of possibilities. But the point is, for me, unless this thing just completely falls off, I say keep this team together. But knowing that the NBA is a business, knowing that we need to replenish some assets, knowing that players age, I would not be shocked if Royce was a dude who gets traded just because of the situation. You're 32 years old. So it also might be in the offseason. It really could be in the offseason. I don't want to trade him. I say keep him. I honestly think this team could fucking do some damage if they grow together, but it's just, you also, there's, realism to consider too.
You said contending teams that would be interested in him. Like, do you have examples? I'm just curious, like, what do you think we would get in return from some of those people?
I mean, I think it would be salary filler and 2 second-round picks.
Okay.
But, like...
So nothing okay.
No, I mean, but, it might also be a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. Like, you might be able to get a first-round pick from someone. It's not going to be something that, like, makes us better this year. That would be us trading an asset for, basically because we believe that it's at the top of its value. I will say that if it was 2 second-round picks, honestly, we probably wouldn't do that because, like, what would even really be the value of that to us? But if someone offered a first-round pick, especially a team that, is older that theoretically could, like if, the Warriors came back to the table and, like, if they came back to the Kuminga thing, well, in that case, we'd be paying him. I mean, Kuminga hasn't been good. I mean, it's tough to come up with an exact. Mm-hmm. But for example, Cleveland has a couple of guys that are good, but may or may not quite work out that could be traded to us, mm-hmm. and they might incentivize them with a pick, and Royce might fit in really nicely in Cleveland. Like I think, there's a few dudes. Like I think, if they decided that Max Strus is not going to be healthy or he's not quite providing what they wanted, and it's basically a similar contract, but Royce is a better player, and you incentivize us with the pick. That's sort of the kind of thing. And Max Strus would be fine, but it's sort of that sort of thing where it's like you're taking on a player who's whatever, but you're picking up a pick to do it. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of like a realistic thing that could occur. Again, I don't want to do that. Right. I would rather we've done enough of asset collection bullshit. Let's just try to win games. Yeah. And I know that we traded all of our assets. I understand all of that. Let's just try to win games. Don't trade any more picks. I'm not saying that we should trade things to win. Let's keep all of our picks. Let's let that stuff replenish. But you don't have to just keep tearing everything down. And I'm not even saying rebuild from the middle. I just think this team's a little bit better than we thought. And I just think that...
Yeah, I agree.
If you can treat Jalen Green like a mid-season addition... Yeah. You might have a little something. And I don't like quitting because you just don't know where things are going to go. Look at where we were. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. And for the folks at home, when is the trade deadline?
February.
All right.
So it's coming, but it's around the All-Star break basically. They moved it up, so it's.
How many weeks is Green out?
Still indeterminate. Okay. It's one of those things where he's going to be reevaluated soon, but reevaluated does not mean coming back. Reevaluated means they look at him again, and then we'll see.
How many games do you think he's going to get before the trade deadline? Will we see him on the court?
I mean, that's a really good question. I think that the maximum that he's going to get before the trade deadline would be 20 games. Just based on where the schedule goes, I think that 20 games would be the most that you could really theoretically look at. But
that's a good amount of games.
It's a decent amount of games. And I mean, 20 games won't tell you if you have something really good, but it will tell you if you really don't.
If you go 15-5,
right, that
yeah.
means it's worth considering.
Yeah.
But if you go 2-18,
yeah,
and this guy has learned no lessons, and he's still taking every horrible shot, and he's not passing, because like I said to you before, he needs to exchange 3 of those shots that are just. He needs to exchange 3 of the shots that are 20-foot contested jumpers with 18 seconds left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Those need to become passes, and if he makes those changes, we're in business.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's learned nothing from all of this, and he's still doing the same shit, if we get that Jalen Green that we got in game 1,
mm-hmm.
again, we're in business. But if we get a dude who just won't pass the ball, shoots below average efficiency, and you get it for 20 straight games, and nothing has changed, I think you know what the answer is. And I don't think the trade return will be great, but I think that you still know what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to wait till the summer, then you have to wait till the summer. But my thing is that I still think it's possible that Jalen Green playing off Booker gets so much better looks that he looks way better, and that's kind of what we saw in the first game.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, their success really depends. Like, if they're both successful, that will be huge. Because, like, if Booker can hit shots because people start defending Green and he makes them pay for that, then that means, people might play off Green a little bit less or so that he gets more open. So, I don't know. I think the better they are, obviously the greater the team will be. But I just think that their success feeds into each other really well in that regard where, neither one of them is going to get doubled, and they'll have some really nice open looks, which, if they can capitalize on those, we should go on a run when Jalen Green comes back.
And it starts with Jalen Green making them pay for doubling Booker.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
single time that Booker gets doubled, Jalen Green has got to kill that.
Yes.
And, because you're going to get to go 4-on-3 at that point.
Yeah.
And, you need to be able to do it. And I think
then Booker's got to be able to hit the shot, when he gets the ball the next drive.
Yeah. Yeah, Booker's got to be shooting better. But again, if we get Jalen Green back, and a lot of this is a function of exhaustion, everything. I think that people gave up on Jalen Green too early. I think that we're doing the thing right now where if a player isn't a superstar immediately, we assume that they can't be good. And I just think it's foolish.
I think he's going to fit in really well. I think, as long as if he gets 20 points a game, that's enough to give Booker some breathing room to where he can get 20-plus points a game.
Yeah, and not only that, Brooks is putting up 21 a game right now.
So
too.
if they can all average that'd be crazy, and I think they can actually.
And you're not even discussing, what Williams adds as a pick and roll man. You're not even discussing what Grayson Allen adds as a sixth man. You're not even discussing what Colin Gillespie adds as the secondary ball handler and creator. Like, suddenly you're starting to talk about a team that's really, really fucking deep.
I think they can win this whole thing. That's the way they're playing, honestly. So I don't know. Do you see that? Do you think they want to win the champ? I mean, obviously everyone wants to win, but do you think they believe that they can win this?
I do. I think that there's a certain level of maniacal attitude that comes with being a sports fanatic. Like, I remember this one year that Rodney Stuckey gave a preseason interview. Stuckey was a combo guard for the Pistons, and he kind of was talking about how he's like, you look through the roster and you're like, okay, on paper we have the best team in the NBA, and everyone like clowned him for it. I mean, fun of it, and he was, and then they asked him to follow up, and he's like, okay, number one, do you want me to insult my own team? Number two, he's like, people don't even understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you're a player and you look at what you have as a roster and you know what everyone's talents are, you start to believe that you can really do something special. Mm-hmm. And he was basically saying it's like we look at ourselves and you're like, all right, we're going to be the best team in the NBA because this dude can do this and this dude can do this and I can do this. And you're wrong. And almost every team is wrong because only one team wins the championship each year, right? Mm-hmm. But to even compete, to even be at that level, you have to have that look. I don't know that Devin Booker necessarily thinks that, but I think that Gillespie does. Mm-hmm. And I think that Richards does, and I think that I think that Goodwin does, and I think that that's what
Williams
matters.
is playing like he does.
Yeah, I think that Brooks does. You know, I think that Dylan Brooks is like, I'm going to be a fucking all-pro, and I'm going to show these motherfuckers. Like, I think that the other thing is, I think that Devin Booker is starting to believe. I think that he came into this season, and I told you a bunch of times, I thought that next summer he was going to ask out. And I'm starting to think that's not true anymore. Because, like, you know, let's, you know, real quick, well, let's case study the Mavericks, right? The 2007 Mavericks win 67 games. It's an unbelievable team. They're going to win the championship. What happens? The We Believe Warriors take them out. And then Dirk has to go to the Outback for months and all these things because he can't believe it. And things don't go well for them. They can't get a player. 2011 comes along. They trade for Jason Kidd. They win an unbelievable championship against LeBron James, you know, and the Miami Heat. All these things occur. That was not considered a championship team. Going into the round 2, they were playing the Lakers, and everyone's like, oh, the Lakers are going to crush the Mavericks. And the Mavericks swept the Lakers. And it was just Dirk played out of his fucking mind. He played the best year of his career. And I'm not saying that necessary thing can happen again, but I can just tell you that I've watched a lot of basketball, and I can point to multiple championships that were completely unexpected. Like Giannis' championship is now held up as, oh, Giannis was incredible. Everybody expected the Nets to win that year because it was KD and, you know, Kyrie and Harden. And Harden was hurt, but, you know, KD was playing out of his mind. And, you know, the Bucks were not the favorite. And so there are a lot of championships that were truly kind of shocking or out of nowhere. And I'm not saying that the Suns can necessarily do that. But, like, what happens if SGA rolls his ankle and they lose to the Nuggets? And then the Nuggets lose to the Wolves again. And then the Suns beat the Wolves because we match up with them well right now. And all of a sudden you're in the finals. Like, I'm not saying that can happen or will happen. I'm saying that as a player, you look at that and you start to fucking believe. And last year, no one believed anything. They didn't believe that they could beat a middle school PE team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But these guys believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, they're willing to kill themselves for it. Like, you know, I'm glad that Goodwin and Gillespie are both healthy after that Thunder game. You know,
I gotta say the Goodwin thing. I was happy that we got him back. I thought that was solid. I think that signing was unfucking believable. Like, that has proven to be. He plays so goddamn hard. His just absolute relentless attack of rebounds, of defense. He hounds people. Like, he's like Jose Alvarado, you know? And it's like, you fucking hate that dude when he's on the Pelicans, but when he's on your team, you love that guy. And Goodwin is, like he's been so good. He's shooting well. Like, he's even done a little bit of creation at times. Like, when we don't have a point guard, he's done a little bit of work, and I've been so impressed with him. Like, he came over in the Beal trade. You know, he spent last year with the Lakers, and now he's back, and it's like, this guy fucks, you know?
Yeah,
like,
he does.
This guy, I like Goodwin.
He's, you know, he goes for the steal. He is he's an annoying defender.
He plays the passing lane.
Yeah.
Like a beast. Like, you're not gonna get anything easy. Nothing. You're not gonna get any easy buckets. He's gonna make your life a living hell for 48 minutes.
Yeah, he's not afraid to foul. Yeah.
Yep. And he's just, I love Jordan Goodwin. Everybody needs guys like that. You know, we've got so many of these role players. It's like, this is the thing. It's like, if Jalen Green could be what Jalen Green was expected to be, like an elite superstar scorer, and you just put that on our team, like,
it's scary.
Yeah.
I'm sure teams are afraid of Jalen Green, you know, recreating what he did on that first night with us.
There's got to be, especially like if you're Minnesota or you're, you know, one of these other teams that expected you to be better.
Yeah.
And things aren't working, like, because, you know.
What if you're the Thunder? You just, like, I guess we can wait till see how we do next game, but we might win that game. But if you're the Thunder right now, what do you think? Like, what if they had Jalen Green? Like, do you think they asked themselves that? Like, or are they so up their own ass?
I mean, I think coming off the championship, you're
Yeah.
not worried about Jalen Green. But
All
I
right,
think
fair enough.
I think a team like the Wolves that thought that they were setting themselves up for very future success, and now things are teetering. I think that they need to worry about a dude like Jalen Green. I think that the Blazers, who had Shaden Sharp and Scoot Henderson, shout out Scoot, your shoes are dope. I have them. Those dudes were supposed to be sick, and they haven't quite popped up. I think those guys are afraid. And I do think that if you're the Thunder, I don't think you want to play the Suns. I know that it sounds ridiculous, whatever, but I think that we match up with them better than a lot of other teams. I just think that we have 11 guys, and so do they. Their superpower is their depth.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have anywhere near their level of talent, but, our guys can play.
Yeah.
And I do think that, I don't know that the Rockets, maybe the Rockets' size will, and the Rockets are deep too, but,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see on that one. But the Warriors,
To me,
they're falling apart a little bit.
they are falling apart. We're doing better than they are.
Yeah, they're older, and things are just they've got to worry about a supersonic Jalen Green that that takes it to a new level, because that suddenly starts to bury them a little bit.
Yeah, it does, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, the fact that people are looking at us now and going, oh shit, I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
Because before it was like they look at us, they're like, oh, that's a win.
Yeah.
Now you see the Suns, you're like, oh, god damn it. They're going to scrap and they're going to foul us a bunch and it's going to be an annoying game.
Yeah. They're going to hit us to the ground.
Yeah, we're going to get slapped a bunch of times and
reminds me of Jay Crowder a little bit.
Dylan Brooks is that same kind of dude, but much better.
Yes.
What Dylan Brooks is doing
He's
on
getting
offense,
20 points a game, yeah.
Dude, I never expected that he would score like this. In his mid-range game lately, he's hitting he's doing this 5 times a game where he'll get a mismatch in transition and he posts up the other team's point guard and he's just sinking mid-rangers just over and over and over. He's doing that little fade, but he's getting switches onto the smaller dudes in transition and he's just bullying them, and it's working fucking well.
It does. They just let him do it. They let him get to his spot. He just bullies them, I guess.
He's gotten into the action so quickly. And the other thing that's been good is when they've come to double him, he's gotten better about passing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been, the biggest thing has been, you're not wrong. They're letting him do it. They're like, oh, we'll let Dylan Brooks shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He's Dylan Brooks, and he's making him pay for it.
Yeah.
And if they keep doing it, it's going to start to be a problem. Because, dude, he's playing with supreme confidence, which we haven't seen from him in a while. He was really good with the Rockets. He was much better than he was at the end of his time with Memphis. But, this is FIBA run Dylan Brooks when he was playing for Canada, and he, absolutely murdered it. This is the best he's ever played in his career. This is the best basketball Dylan Brooks has played in his life. He's playing for the Phoenix Suns right now. I got to believe he loves being here.
Yeah, me too. He looks like he does. He's happy. He's getting the guys jazzed up,
Yeah, dude, he's in everyone's face. And even tonight, we talked about the Rockets game. That was a bummer. We talked about the Kings game. That was hype. We talked about the Thunder game. That was a bummer. We kept it close. It was a bummer. This Nuggets game tonight, awful.
Yeah, it was.
They worked us. But Brooks was efficient, playing hard defense. And the thing about him is, his defense is always 100% energy. Even if it's not perfect, he never, takes a break.
No, he
weird
doesn't.
Game, though.
Yeah, weird, yeah.
You said we had, 7 turnovers? We still got beat by 20.
Yeah. I look at 7 turnovers, and you say, hey, did we win that game? I would say absolutely. And we didn't. In fact, we lost by almost 20. So it does... It makes... But again, we didn't have Williams.
But
so
Jokic
I really think
bends all the rules of basketball.
Yeah.
Everything. That guy is just... He's the best player on the planet right now. And, I think he's going to win the MVP again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you do with him. This is the one dude that the Thunder, I don't know what the Thunder are going to do with him. I don't know what you do with SGA either.
Yeah, he was amazing.
But, see, that's the thing is we just need one of the Thunder and Denver to take the other one out.
Right.
And then we need someone to take the other one out, and then we'll take that team out. We just need to play spoiler of the spoiler of the spoiler. That's all it is. Yeah. And then when you're in the finals against, the Pistons, it's going to be a weird year. Let's go win a championship. Why not? Dude, listen. If the Lakers bubble championship can mean something, then whatever. So
this would be a stacked championship to win.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good teams.
Considering the amount of talent in the league right now, this would be But dude, again, even if we just make the playoffs, I'm gonna be still happy.
Me too. I mean, that's where the bar was. People thought we were gonna get 13th in the West. We talked about that last week.
Yeah. They thought we were gonna be worst defense in the league, 13th in the West. The only team that's worse is the Jazz, blah blah blah, and we're competing.
Yeah.
And now the next couple games we got the Lakers. They're playing awesome right now.
Yeah, they are.
LeBron's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be another really good test. I mean, this is one of those games where it's always a big test against the Lakers.
This will be a good. After these games, we'll have a better idea of where we stand right now.
Yes, and right now, I mean, I think that we're a good team, not a great team, but let's go out and beat the Lakers, and then we can talk a little bit. It's all right, things are working, but it is a little bit of a skid. Things were going really well, then you go 1-3 this week.
Right.
So how do you right the ship?
You got to win a couple, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want this to become 1-7.
Right.
Right. So you got to go out and win a few games. Because here's the thing: we're in the midst of this brutal 13-game stretch. If we come out of this thing at 6-7, 7-6. I'm going to feel really good about that. We want to play 500 ball through a stretch like this. We're 1-3 right now. So, let's get a couple of wins. Who we got after the Lakers? Is it the Wolves again?
Yeah. Let me check here. I know we're playing the Rockets again soon.
And we've got December 9th. We're going to play the Thunder again in the next NBA Cup game. So that'll be something interesting because we get another crack at them at the NBA Cup because we advanced to the next round, which is cool. But we got the Lakers next, right? And then we got what else?
The Rockets. Yeah, and
Rockets next. Okay.
Yeah, and then we get a couple days off. So we'll play the Rockets on a Friday, and then we get 2 days off to play the Timberwolves on Monday. So it will be interesting.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about the Lakers is you got 3 incredible creators. I think that you just need to kind of goad them into playing iso ball, and of course Luka's incredible at iso ball. Austin Reeves incredible at iso ball. LeBron is incredible at iso ball, but I still think that's better than letting those dudes get shit going and they're cutting and weaving and all these things. I just think it's better to slow the game down and let them jack up a lot of contested triples in iso ball. I think that should really be the Suns' goal, is to just try to get them to shoot a lot of 28-foot 3-pointers in one-on-one ball, because I think that if you let them get into a rhythm and you let them get any sort of transition game, we're gonna get crushed. So I just think the biggest thing to do is you put Williams will be back. Hopefully Dunn is back. You put Dunn on Luka. You put Brooks on Luka. You put Dunn on Reeves. One of those things, and just
okay. Who goes on LeBron?
You might put Booker on LeBron.
Yeah,
honestly. And you just kind of.
I could maybe Royce on LeBron.
Yeah, that's true. You could put Royce on LeBron, and in that case, you're playing Booker on Vanderbilt or Hachimura, who Booker's undersized in that scenario, but you're talking about them playing. Most likely to be Hachimura, so he's gonna shoot, so Booker can kind of handle that. The other thing is that you could put, you put Booker on Luka and you just switch everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just we'll switch everything, basically 1 through 4. And so then, again, Booker ends up basically back on Hachimura. And again, it'll be interesting to see the Rockets. Hopefully Katie's back for that one.
Yes. I hope whatever's going on.
Congratulations on the birth of the first child.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize he was even, good for him.
No one is. And there's rumors about who the kid's with. But I don't know who it is. But Gambo said it was that he had a kid. So.
Oh wow, dude, good for him.
Yeah. So good for KD.
Congratulations,
KD.
KD.
He's about to have the first kid bump.
Yeah.
So
hopefully
KD,
takes place after.
After
it's
that.
a little bit of a delay. Yeah.
But KD's about to score 40 a game for the next month, so get your KD prop bets in.
Yeah. Probably true.
Any final thoughts on the next few Suns games before we Saturday sign? It's actually Sunday right now. I was trying to make a Saturday sign off to Sunday comment. It's Sunday, so I mean, hey.
I think I'm excited for this Lakers game. Actually, now that you talk about it, I think this will be a great test. They have a lot of weapons. It will be interesting to see how we deal against a team like that. Oklahoma has a lot of weapons, so it'll be nice to see if we can bounce back from this. After a couple of days rest, see what we can do. I'm looking forward to it. I guess I'm a little worried after how we played tonight, but we'll see how I feel after the Lakers game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, again, we're in a brutal stretch. You're 1-3.
Yeah.
Things are not great right now, but you can't. You jumped out way hotter than you thought. There's going to be some regression to the mean.
Yeah, that's true.
But you just don't let yourself slide too hard.
Yeah.
So you win a couple of these games, you turn things around. And I think the biggest thing about the Lakers is, their defense sucks.
Yeah.
So you've got Goodwin, you've got O'Neal, you've got Brooks, you've got Booker, who is, again, a very underrated defender.
Mm-hmm.
You've got dudes to throw at everyone, and you can switch so much. And if Williams is back, and you've got Dunn out there, hopefully, and you got Grayson Allen, you really can. This is a game that the Suns can win. I know the Lakers are playing great, but this is a game that the Suns can win. And I think if you win this game, you're feeling all sorts of good again, because it takes you to a point where you're like, all right, we can compete. We're doing things, and again.
It'd be on the road too. That'd be a huge win.
And again, it's just like if we can just get out into the top 6, you know, just get out of the play-in.
That'd be sweet. That's my kind of hot take, is that we actually will do that. But it depends on this stretch of games.
I really think we can get into the top 6 too. I agree. Top 6 Suns.
Yeah.
Sunday night Suns. That's what we're predicting.
Yeah.
So, my man Keith, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna see you next week.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Me too. I appreciate you. From my boy Keith, I'm the Blunt Doctor, and that is Sunday Night Suns.
Yeah. See you next time.